Hi, I'm attorney David Banas, and welcome to Special Needs Insights. Today, I'm going to be discussing the roles and responsibilities of being a trustee, particularly a trustee of a special needs trust, whether that be a Medicaid payback trust or a third-party discretionary trust. It's oftentimes very intimidating for an individual to think, I'm going to be the trustee of a trust. I don't know anything about being a trustee, but I'm here to tell you it's perfectly manageable for almost anyone. You do not need to know every single in and out of how the trust needs to be drafted. That's my job. You don't need to know every aspect of Medicaid eligibility and Social Security eligibility. Again, that's my job to counsel a trustee in making proper distributions. What you need to be prepared for as a trustee is the ability to listen to counsel. The ability to understand the dispositive terms of the trust so that you can follow them, and the ability to promise to never self-deal, meaning can't use any of the trust assets for your own benefit, to be impartial, meaning it's a little bit higher of a duty. And sometimes that might be a little difficult when you're the trustee over a loved one, but to be impartial, to really understand your role is there to protect the assets and to do what the trust says, not what your heart says. And then to prudently invest the trust assets and protect those from loss. And what does prudent investing mean? Ohio has adopted the Uniform Prudent Investor Act. And basically what that means is you should be adequately familiar with modern portfolio theory, diversification of assets. You should invest those assets prudently for the benefit of the trust and the individual. And so what does a trustee do? The trustee is someone who created the trust, is entrusting that person to hold and distribute the funds for the benefit of the beneficiary, a loved one. And so how does a trustee carry out those duties? Again, understanding what the beneficiary needs in terms of Medicaid or Social Security, understanding the intent of the settlor, the person that created the trust, and what they were trying to do and when they transferred money into this trust, I think is the most critical part to approaching your role as a trustee. And then we look to the terms of the trust. And if I were guiding a trustee who's recently come into a trusteeship, I would say, let's take a look at the document. And in most of these special needs trusts, the dispositive provision, the distribution language is going to sound something like this. In the trustee's sole, absolute, and uncontrolled discretion, they make distributions on behalf of the beneficiary as they deem proper. And that's really it. So there's not a whole lot of guidance in the trust document itself. It's the way that these special needs trusts need to be drafted, that it's going to tell you when or how you should make distributions. Again, that's my role as counsel to a trustee in making sure that the trustee is carrying out the wishes of the grantor or the settlor, the person that established those trusts. Of course, there are tax implications in filing taxes and how those work as it relates to passing through benefits to a beneficiary or income from a tax perspective. All that, again, I don't want to say is unimportant, but that comes out with the help of individuals like me and tax accountants, and through conversations. So I don't want any of that to dissuade anybody from taking on the responsibility as a trustee. What does a trustee do? Generally, they're protecting the beneficiary. They're providing the beneficiary with a source of funding for things that Medicaid or Social Security may not pay for, while maintaining those benefits for the beneficiary. And if you're the trustee of a third-party discretionary trust, oftentimes you're protecting that for another generation. If you're the trustee of a Medicaid payback trust, you are many times protecting those funds, not just for the beneficiary during their life, but also taking into account the real reality that there is a Medicaid payback provision upon the death of the beneficiary. And so there are some responsibilities to understand it, at the very least, what those are too. But again, I will come back to that no trustee is a perfect trustee. No individual named as a trustee must have a strong accounting background, understand every legal aspect of Medicaid eligibility and Social Security eligibility. All that a trustee really needs to be willing to do is, again, make a good faith effort to ensure that that trust is there to maintain public benefits for the beneficiary while providing a means for supplemental goods, services, and quality of life. And again, there's no trick to it, and no trustee wears a red cape and flies around as Superman. This is a team effort. We guide our clients through not just the creation of these special needs trusts, but then the administration of those trusts. And when I say it's a team effort, a lot of times I'm going to be relying on maybe a letter of intent that mom and dad wrote when they created the trust to help the trustee understand again, why the trust is there and what the trustee should use those monies for, and how to exercise that discretion that they have. The trustees, again, are going to rely on me or others in this office to say, hey, I'm really thinking about using these trust funds to hire another aide to come in and help around the house for the beneficiary. Is that okay? And is that going to cause any problems for Medicaid or Social Security? And we're there to work through how those distributions should be made, how they shouldn't be made, pitfalls to look out for. And at the end of the day, to explain to the Medicaid agency and perhaps Social Security why the trust that was set up is an exempt asset, why it shouldn't impact benefits. So again, it's a team effort. It's a collaborative effort. No one needs to know everything, but we're there to pick each other up. We also understand that with big change, those need to start with little conversations. And so what I would say is, if you're curious about the establishment of a special needs trust, or if you're curious about naming a loved one as a trustee, give us a call. We're here to listen.